Welcome to another episode of NFHS Now. I'm your host, John Gillis. For your information, this episode is historic, as it's the first time we featured a member state association in the program. This one being the Kansas State High School Activities Association. We hope you enjoy this format. Our plan moving forward is to feature all of the state associations and as often as we can. If you have a story regarding your state association, your member high schools, or their students, please contact me and we'll get it on the air. Today's story took place on November 18th when the Kansas Association held its first ever KSHSAA Game Day Spirit Showcase competition in the Kansas Expo Center, Landon Arena in Topeka, Kansas. There, 83 high schools in 6 enrollment classifications competed in 3 separate events in this all-day cheer and spirit extravaganza. Here to talk about the Spirit Showcase is KSHSAA Executive Director Gary Musselman. Gary, I'd like to welcome you to NFHS Now.
Thank you, John. It's a privilege for us to be part of this first ever State Association posting. We're happy to be part of that and very, very proud to talk with you today about our game day event.
Gary, could you share with our viewers how this event came about and what its intent is?
Well, the event of Game Day in Kansas was something that I had an opportunity to first observe about 2 years ago in Florida. Varsity Spirit conducts a competition in Florida in conjunction with the NFHS and a number of state associations, and we had an opportunity to observe and attend. And the Game Day competition format intrigued me, and I felt like it had great possibilities for our schools and offered our opportunity for our young people to have a competition experience in cheerleading, which we've not had previously. Cheerleading in Kansas, we've governed cheerleading from a standpoint of rules meetings and safety and offering summer camps and one-day clinics in the fall, but we've never really afforded our young people an opportunity to compete in cheer. So that was what was very appealing to me when I saw Game Day.
Gary, there were more than 1,400 student athletes on 83 teams in this inaugural event. Was the KSHSAA pleased with those numbers? Are those what you expected?
Well, they were. We developed our game day program with a great deal of guidance and help from our friends and colleagues in Texas. Dr. Charles Bright at the University Interscholastic League and his staff. Tracy was extremely helpful in visiting with Craig Manteuffel and I throughout the last year and a half, providing guidance and recommendations, and of course we have to take things and adapt it to our situation. But we envisioned a one-day event, and we maxed out the capacity of our one-day event with respect to how many teams and schools we could accommodate in a single-day schedule. We literally had competitors every 2 minutes from 8:30 in the morning till about 8:30 in the evening, and conducted 6 classifications of competition. So very, very pleased, and Craig Manteuffel will explain more, but we literally maxed out our capacity and registration with our online portal within the first hour and had over 88 schools register in the first hour. 83 competed, and 1,424 young people had the opportunity to compete here on a Saturday in Topeka at the first ever KSHSAA Game Day Showcase.
Gary, could you speak to how this new event was accepted by the administrators in your member high schools and why they felt receptive to the components of the competition?
Well, John, when we talked with our schools in our regional meetings, and having been a school administrator or principal, I understand their lives are very busy, very hectic. They initially have had reluctance about competition in cheerleading. One of the things that we heard from them as they began to look at and evaluate the game day format was they liked the fact that game day focuses on 3 very essential elements of cheerleading that are very specific and very much in alignment with what most high school administrators and athletic directors feel cheerleading teams are there for. The category of leading your crowd, performing with your band to the music of your school fight song, and then monitoring, or what I might call tracking, the game in progress and responding to changes in the situations on the court or the field. And we think, as administrators, the comments we heard were very positive, comments that, well, we think that's what our cheerleaders should be doing. And if they've been orienting more toward a performance-based team, kind of dance choreography, we as schools would like to see them give greater emphasis to those basic skills. So our administrators like the idea very much. I think they realize that cheerleading doesn't bring any parent concerns that don't already exist in every other sport that we're involved with. So I think, the old perception that somehow cheerleading isn't an event for competition has sort of maybe been put to the side. I think the young people on our teams, the boys and girls on those teams, definitely have a competitive zest, and they definitely want to show their capabilities and see how they stack up against competition, just like every other high school athlete. So we think it's just been a wonderful experience. The feedback was very positive. We had great attendance at our event. I think for every athlete competing, we had between 2 and 3 fans in attendance based on our ticket sales.
What do you see as being the future of this event?
Well, obviously, that will be up to the administration here at KSHSAA after I retire in the coming summer. But I think Craig Manteuffel and Bill Faflick and Jeremy Holliday of our staff, all of whom were at game day, and some of our other staff came by to witness the day and enjoy it. I think they were all caught up in the excitement and the energy level. I think our board is very committed. I think the varsity staff proved to be very good partners in terms of providing expertise and the kinds of things that we at KSHSAA wouldn't begin to have the ability to deliver without their help. So I think that the future is very bright.
Well, Gary, I want to thank you for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thank you, John. It's been a pleasure, and as I said, it's a great honor for Kansas to have the opportunity to tell our story and to have that maybe be something that could be shared with others. And if there's anything of use that we've done, we'd be happy to help anyone, just as we were helped by our friends in Texas. So thank you very much.
Standing by is KSHSAA Assistant Executive Director Craig Manteuffel, who oversees the organization's performing arts. Craig, welcome to NFHS Now.
Thanks, John. It's a real pleasure to be with you today.
Craig, Gary and I discussed that more than 1,400 student athletes from 83 high schools participated in this inaugural Game Day Spirit Showcase. What was the range of number of participants in those schools?
Well, our participating squads varied in size from 5 to 30 members, but with crowd leading being the main objective to the game day event, our smallest squads as well as our largest squads were able to compete, and they competed with very positive results.
I also heard that you had 88 schools registered in the first 8 minutes of going live, and that registrations began at 8 a.m. and the event was filled by 9:03 a.m. That's amazing. What does that say about the popularity of Spirit among your member schools?
Well, John, I think it speaks very well. A little background, and I know Gary gave you some background before, but I'll give you a little bit more specifics. In February of 2016, I learned all about the new game day competition format from Tracy Neely, which she was the former Spirit administrator at the Texas UIL, which is now, or she's now retired. Their event was held in January 2016, so we started asking our coaches at our summer camps about their thoughts on having an event such as a game day competition in Kansas, which would be a very first for Acacia and Kansas. We received a very positive overall response from our coaches, and they were really excited to hear about this opportunity. From there, the excitement and organization started to build, and we began training coaches and putting together our own Kansas competition information with our partner Varsity Spirit. Jamie Graham, who also ran the Texas Game Day competition, was a great resource and managed our event very well. Varsity has the knowledge, and Jamie lined up an awesome staff to help make our event run like a well-oiled machine.
Craig, I read that the KSHSAA provided 3 different types of training opportunities in advance of the event. What were those events, and what were the attendance figures for them?
Yeah, that's right, John. We were able to train coaches during our 7 KSHSAA summer camps in 2016, which included over 250 spirit coaches, all from grades 7 through 12, all across the state of Kansas. We also provided 9 one-day KSHSAA Spirit Spreader clinics in the fall, and these events we trained over 400 coaches. And the third event was our KSHSAA Coaching School, which 31 spirit coaches met in Topeka at the end of July, and they were able to experience a full day of sessions geared mainly towards the game day experience. And this, I'll add, this was also the first year for having a spirit day at our coaching school.
Craig, I understand that there were 3 elements to your game day: band dance, crowd leading, and fight song. How did each of those work?
Well, the band dance is your favorite sideline cheer performed to a pre-recorded tune by your own marching band. I think we're actually going to change the name of that next year, though, to band chant, which fits it just a little bit better because it's not really a dance. The crowd leading portion is your preferred sideline cheer that really activates your crowd, and the fight song, of course, is you performing your own school fight song with, once again, your marching band. All schools executed each of these 3 elements separately during the preliminary rounds, but during the finals they performed all 3 back-to-back, and they had a 3-minute time limit. The other change in the finals was the crowd leading portion had a unique offense-defense situation given to them by the PA announcer, and the squad then had to determine if they should perform an offensive or defensive cheer. For example, the PA announcer may have read, "The Tigers need a big stop on 4th down. Let's hear it." So, of course, a defensive cheer was needed. Or, "The Tigers need a big first down." So, of course, an offensive cheer was needed. And I'm really proud of our squads, John, that all the squads that performed in the finals chose the correct cheer for 2017.
What was the scoring system, and how did that work?
Like I mentioned earlier, Varsity Spirit partnered with us to manage our event. They contracted an awesome panel of well-qualified judges from all over the place, and we used the same basic score sheet rubrics as Texas used, which I will tell you are on our website, which is www.kshsaa.org. So if other states want to take a look, or they can contact me directly here at the office, and I would be glad to send them our game day information or talk to them about whatever they would like to talk to if they're going to start a game day event in their state. I'll also remind you, John, that this was a showcase competition, and we are excited that 83 out of our 354 member schools participated this year. We gave individual medals to the top 6 teams in each classification and state trophies for the top 3 places in each class. So with our 6 classification system in Kansas, we crowned 6 first-place champions at our game day competition.
Overall, how did you think the event went?
I think it went very, very well, John. We had great response back from our coaches, from our students, from our administrators. Of course, we learned a great deal, it being the first year that we proved this event, and we're just going to improve it and create a lot more excitement in the future for our Kansas Spirit coaches and the students that are involved in our game day showcase.
Well, Craig, it definitely sounds like you have a very successful event. Congratulations to you and everyone else involved with this year's event. Continued success with it, and my thanks to Gary and you for being part of today's program.
Thanks, John. We really appreciate your support and efforts at the NFHS to put this program all together so other states can learn about our game day event in Kansas.
Well, that wraps up this episode of NFHS Now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.